Hi, I am Akumen. I am the founder of an assistive tech company called Akumen Artificial Intelligence Private Limited, based out in Manipur. Prior to starting this company, I was working as an avionics engineer. So there, when I met my uncle who was diagnosed with a disease called retinitis pigmentosa, it's a genetic disease. And when he was diagnosed with it, he became suddenly blind. He was a medical professor. He used to review thesis of his students using bulky medical devices. So I thought, why not create a device which is very sleek and which will help the fellow human beings who are visually impaired to accomplish their day-to-day tasks. So this inspired me to start this company. I started this company at the time of COVID. So it was a boon in disguise for us. Many of my family members and friends who were working in companies like Mercedes, Bosch, and also people who are doing PhD in IITs, we got a chance to meet together in the evening. So then when we refine on the things what we want to do, so that was a turning point in our startup journey. And as a startup based out here in the Northeast, and that too being a hardware based startup, so we had difficulty in getting the exposure. Like making a prototype is one thing, doing a DIY kind of thing is one thing, and making it out, making a product out of it and make it to be a sellable product is one thing. So this market exposure, the industry exposure was missing for us. Clearly there was a turning point in our startup journey. So I would advise people also to take part in hackathons. When we take part in hackathons, we level ourselves up with the other startups in the same ecosystem. So we get to know where we are lacking, and we get to know what are other startups doing in the same ecosystem. When we met the incubation at AIC SMU, it's an incubator in Sikkim Manipur University. So that was a turning point for us. And after we got introduced there, we got many help from many mentors who are from the business perspective, who are from the industry experts. So that helped us, chisel our startup to make it more, presentable as well as more refined. It was kind of being stuck to the vision. There were lots of iterations for this hardware. I think we would have done around hundreds of iterations for the hardwares, and hardware, once it is used, you cannot use it again for the next iteration. So that was kind of challenging for us. And at some time we were very low, we could not find a solution to what we are solving. But another thing for us, what helped is we are always connected with the end users. For us, it's the visually impaired people. So our product is built from bottoms up. So we always take their feedback, to build the product which we are building right now. The challenges we faced were many. Among them is the lack of funding for the startup. So being a hardware-based startup, it is very difficult to get funding, and based in the Northeast, that adds to the scarcity of funds. And the second challenge for us was the lack of skilled manpower, because we are into electronics, we are into CAD designing, we are into 3D printing to make the prototypes. So at the beginning it was quite difficult to get skilled manpower. And the third thing, because we are into the medical device, so this is an assistive device which comes under medical device. So we need to get lots of certifications from BIS, from CDSCO, etc. So those were challenging at first. The lessons I have learned from my startup journey is that networking is very important. So among equally capable companies out there, India is a very vast country and there are many companies who are doing similar jobs like you. So you have to be in good network with people to secure projects. That is one thing. And another thing is never be hesitant to ask questions. Being based in the Northeast, we have a tendency to try to avoid asking the questions, even in the classrooms as well. So later, when in my journey, I find out that as much as question you want to ask, people are always ready to help you. The worst they can say is no. So never be hesitant to ask questions. 20 years from now, the advice I would like to give to my younger self is never always be dependent on government jobs. I was crazy for government jobs at that time. So I never knew these kind of opportunities would exist, the ecosystem will exist. So that's the thing. To the aspiring entrepreneurs, and as well as people who are on the same journey as me, I would like to add three things. The first thing is try to solve real world problems. The world has many unsolved problems which needs to be solved, and it's us, the startup founders, who are going to solve them. And the second thing is always try to have a mentor who can guide you, bring out your product to the market. And another third thing is always try to make design indigenously and make in India. In that way, you will be able to have so many knowledge and you'll have control over the product apart from, like importing and rebranding and selling. So that doesn't work in the long run. To make the company work in the long run, you always have to design indigenously and try to make in India as well. Being an assistive tech company, we have developed a wireless device for the visually impaired people. This is a wireless device. So it has a camera and it has speakers on both sides of the temple. So the camera sees what is there in front and keeps on describing for the visually impaired persons so that they are aware of the surroundings. So this we have developed it from scratch. Like the software, the hardware, and even the enclosures, all this has been developed from scratch. And other thing what we are developing right now is a bionic hand, a low-cost bionic hand for the amputees. So this is a 3D printed bionic hand for the amputees which we have developed. So we also want to work on that. And the other thing which are there in the pipeline is a exoskeleton for the elderly people. So instead of using the walking stick and crouches, we'd like to develop a exoskeleton to help the elderly people walk freely. So we want to do all this inside the Northeast part. So we want to make the Northeast as a hub for the emerging technologies like 3D printing, IoT, artificial intelligence, and whatnot. To make a business scalable, I think it's very important to foster partnerships because one single company cannot solve everything. So to make the customer happy and to make the best of the best, you have to partner with certain companies to make it out to the market. That's one thing. And the second thing is always try to target a bigger market. So you should not be confined like targeting only the Northeast or targeting only Manipur, etc. So when the whole world is your market, you get to learn a lot of things and there are a lot of opportunities for you. Recently, we got a chance to meet the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in Startup Mahakumbh in last year 2024. So there we got a chance to showcase our products to the PM. And also recently we have been awarded with NCPDP Role Model Company. So this was an award given to companies who are working for the differently abled people. So these kind of moments gave us impetus to work more, to give more synergy to what we are working.